Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Thursday, August 20th, 2020. I'd like to bring you said information out of Texas. If you need verification for the storyline, please log on to CBS News. Fort Hood soldier Vanessa Guillen'S murder a tipping point, Army Secretary says. This was updated August 7th. Fort Hood has one of the highest rates of murder, sexual assault, and harassment in the Army, Secretary Ryan McCarthy said Thursday during a visit to the Texas base. McCarthy went to Fort Hood in the wake of the slaying of SPC Vanessa Guillen'S, who was found dead on the base last month. We are getting an outside look to help us to get to those root causes and understand them so we can make those changes. McCarthy said during a news conference that was shown on Facebook Live, "We're going to put every resource and all of the energy we can in this entire situation behind fixing these problems." This was a social media post by the Secretary of the Army. Arrived at Fort Hood yesterday to have a difficult conversation that was much needed, not just about the loss of one of our own, Vanessa Guillen'S, but how we can better take care of our soldiers from all levels of leadership. Today was a step toward progress for the Army. McCarthy visited the base weeks after he ordered an independent review of the command climate at Fort Hood following Guillen'S death. He noted her death has become catalyst for the Army in highlighting issues of sexual harassment and assault in the military. The Secretary also acknowledged survivors who have come forward with their experiences on social media using the hashtag #IamVanessaGuillen'S. Vanessa's story has served as a tipping point, McCarthy said. Investigators said Guillen'S, 20, was bludgeoned to death at the Fort Hood by SPC Aaron Robinson, who killed himself on July 1st as police were trying to take him into custody. Guillen'S' family has said Robinson had sexually harassed her, but the Army has said there is no evidence supporting the claim. McCarthy said the case is still under investigation. "I am markedly disappointed and saddened by one of our own killing a teammate," McCarthy said. "It takes a shot at the system, and it rattles the system of the trust that you have to have in this profession." McCarthy said the review of the Fort Hood will examine claims and historical data of discrimination, harassment, and assault. CBS affiliate KYTX reports McCarthy named 5 civilians on July 30th to be part of an independent review of the command climate and culture on posts and in the surrounding military community around Fort Hood. Ultimately, the results, findings, recommendations will fuel an implementation team chaired by the Undersecretary of the Army and the Vice Chief of Staff for the Army, McCarthy said. He also said he is in discussions about the language of a bill that is set to be introduced before Congress that seeks to address reporting mechanisms for sexual assault and harassment in the military. One harassment and one assault is one too many, McCarthy said. McCarthy said he conducted 9 listening sessions and had candid conversations with Fort Hood soldiers of every echelon this week to understand the culture on and off the base. He said investigators will be conducting a full independent review to understand why Fort Hood has seen a rise in felonies and violent crimes. McCarthy said that in the last 2 weeks he heard concerns from soldiers about Guillen'S death while visiting bases in Poland and Italy. Last week, President Trump voiced support for an investigation into Guillen'S murder. Mr. Trump met with Guillen'S family in the White House and told her mother that her death won't be swept under the rug, according to the White House Pool report. "We're going to look into it very powerfully," Mr. Trump said. "Maybe something can come out of it that will help Vanessa and others." McCarthy also announced the Army would be rolling out an initiative called Project Inclusion to address behaviors that tear at the fabric of our force. He said that these included diversity, discrimination, sexual harassment, sexual assault, and suicide. He cited a nationwide reckoning that has occurred amid protests over racial injustice following the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. And that is the said information coming out of Texas at Fort Hood. If you need verification for the storyline, please log on to CBS News. It is an atrocity of the events that have transpired out of Fort Hood as of late in the past year of missing soldiers, murdered soldiers, and as he stated, I mean, how bad can it get when a soldier is murdered by their own comrade on the said base? It's one thing to be murdered off base by a civilian, or even to be murdered by another comrade off the base. But this young lady was murdered on the base, under the watch of others, in the midst of others, crossing paths with others, murdered by a comrade. You know it can't get any worse than this. I don't know what's going on with the people on the base. I don't even know anything about the people in the town, but I can see There's something sinister brewing in that town. There's something sinister on that base. The mindset of the comrades is not well. Obviously, some of these people are not well equipped to be humans. Period. Base or no base. Something is going on in that base and in that town. And I don't know what the hell is going on. But I'm praying that a thorough investigation will transpire pertaining to all these events. Sexual assault, discrimination, all of that. They'll have the appropriate people. And basically, you need to make sure the people who are doing the investigation, they don't have said backgrounds of being accused of assault. Because we heard about that years ago of a guy in the Army who was the one that the women and men came to with complaints of sexual assault. And he had been sexually harassing women in the Army. Now you put that on paper. So you see, sometimes the person you're using as a messenger don't need to be delivering the message. That's why you need to be very careful of the people you choose to be in a certain title, position to handle delicate matters, because you need to know that they are in their right frame of mind and that they are not sinister also. Praying for the Guillen family, praying for the soldiers at Fort Hood, praying for that town, because there is something wrong and going on there. And what it is, like as I said, I don't know. But lately there's an uptick of crime, violent crime with people all over the United States. And I don't know if it's COVID. I don't know if it's just people just mad because they can't get outside. I don't know what the hell's going on. But this right here on a base has no business happening. Period. COVID, no COVID. And as far as the other civilians acting a monkey's tail, everybody needs to tighten their mess up and sit on down somewhere and be thankful that you're alive and that you're breathing, because you could be somewhere else. Okay? You could be sucking on a tube in the hospital, and you could be 6 feet under. So some of you need to be grateful and humble and get yourself some help if you're having some mental issues. And that goes for everybody. Praying for Fort Hood. Praying for the Guillen family. Thank you all for listening. God bless all of you. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Mask up out there. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so very much. God bless all of you. Bye-bye.